This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
Hello and welcome, Superfans. This is your one-stop shop for Chicago bitching about sports, for the most part.
Pretty much.
Honestly, it feels like that's, I don't mean to be overly negative, but that does seem to be our genre right now. The Chicago sports scene is not in a positive place. The Blackhawks have been dumpstering, and they gave out, some fairly big names. Bears stink, as we know. The Bulls, we're just sucking it up. Front office down, ownership down, to be honest.
White Sox, we
got hope. Cubs, they're still a very good team. They should be a very good team. So, we're going to talk about all that kind of stuff today. Three great topics for you. Today, we're going to be talking about the Bears potentially trading for Andy Dalton because there's rumors about trade talk has officially happened between the two teams. The 2020 NBA draft, if the Bulls should go after Obi Toppin over a point guard, as some people had commented back to us after our mock drafts this past week got posted. And then how important is a contract extension for Yoan Moncada and the Chicago White Sox future? But before we get started, I want to drop out a quick mention to our patrons out there. Thank you guys. Literally couldn't have the show without you. We really appreciate the love. If you do want to help support us and continue to help us make content for the future, check us out on patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcasts. You know what's great?
What's that?
I forgot to introduce you guys. So sitting across from me is Ricky Widmer.
What's up, guys?
And Sean Anderson.
Hey there.
And that's how we're going to start this fucking show.
Can we actually start it in my favorite way and trying to figure out who we should name this after?
Yeah.
Uniform 27.
27.
Yeah. So for the Bears, my request would be for Major Wright. I don't know who Mike Richardson was, but apparently he was on the 85 team.
So
shout out
he's
Mike
probably
Richardson.
just better.
Yeah, but I wasn't alive.
Yeah. And so Major Wright was great.
Walt Harris was also 27, but I don't remember him. But Major Wright was former safety. So shout out Major Wright. Also Sherrick McManus, who currently, if he does come back, will be the longest tenured Bear.
That's
on this team.
Scary to think about.
Started back in 2020.
He started back in 2020?
2012. Go Bears. 27 for the Cubs, the worst baseball team in Chicago. Yep. Their last 27 to be worn is Addison Russell. So clearly they can hang that one up. But outside of that, Joe Girardi was 27. Corey Patterson was 27 before he became, I think it was 20. What was Corey Patterson's good number? Is he 20? 21 was Sosa. I think it was 24. I'm trying to figure out what Patterson's main go-to number was. 20.
It was 20.
All right, yeah. So Corey Patterson wore 27 for a hot sec. So shout out to him. White Sox, like I mentioned, my hope would be it would be Lucas Giolito because right now he's rocking 27. Is going to be a Cy Young winner. So go Bears. I think outside of that, I don't think there's anyone that's really sticking out. And then 27 also could work for my guy Johnny Oduya of the Hawks if we want to go that route. So. Those are my suggestions for episode 27.
No prominent Bulls.
Was there any?
Ollie Johnson in the 79 season.
I don't remember that guy.
Ollie Johnson.
Shout out to
That's
Ollie.
about it. Only one person to wear the number 27 in Bulls history.
Wow. That seems kind of weird. I don't think it's an unpopular number. It's got 2 and 7.
00, 4, 27, 38, 39, 48, 90, and 91. Are the only numbers in Bulls history worn by one person.
I forgot about an important 27 in White Sox history. Jeff Blum.
Ooh, Jeff
2005. Josh Fields, Ramon Castro, Matt Lindstrom. Lurie were a year too. All right, so shout out. I think it's Lucas Giolito here. But that's just me.
Wonderful. All right, so we are kicking things off today after that wonderful little sidetrack with the Bears.
Sidetrack it. I wasn't here last week, so I had to sidetrack it.
Fair enough. We're starting things off today with a great topic, and the Bears and the draft, and the fuck is going to happen because, let's be honest, we have sort of an in this year because our offensive line coach is at the NFL Combine doing drills for offensive linemen. So nice little bit of an in we've got going already, but it is Combine time. It is that time to stare at guys wearing basketball shorts, running real quick, jumping real high.
Not in basketball shorts, just straight up underwear.
Some do that too. Some have no shame in that end. And yeah, I think it's time to overreact about some real quick times or some real slow times. Guys, this is the time where our team will inevitably get worse or better. We waste a lot of draft picks early on, and our late rounds are hits. So, I'm feeling vibe going into this NFL draft is going to be pretty good, though. I honestly feel like yeah.
I don't know about that.
No?
You
feel negative?
We have 2 second-round picks, and then we don't have a pick until the 5th round. And
Which is perfect for us.
Apparently, we're going to trade one of those for Andy Dalton.
Ugh. But whatever. Point being, it's combine time. That's exciting. But we are here to talk about Andy Dalton. I don't give a fuck about Andy Dalton, unfortunately, as a quarterback. Like, he does not move the needle for me. Yeah. And I think that's the problem is because his entire career, he's been an above-average quarterback, but not good enough and absolutely putrid in the playoffs. Well, and this is a team that needs to win in the playoffs, and that's why we're going to go get him, right?
The question, too, is he's had, when healthy, a top 10 wide receiver on his team. He's fairly had...
And a top defense, too.
Yeah, and he's had some decent wide receiving core, if you want to throw in the time with Mohamed Sanu and Hushmanzada. I don't think he was around with Hushmanzada. But Marvin Jones Jr. was one as well. And Jerome Simpson, who apparently it's his birthday today, and he had the
front flip.
He had the flip.
That was so cool.
So, I mean, and he's had Tyler Eifert. Tyler Eifert, obviously never healthy, but when healthy, he was always an impactful tight end. So, I don't know if Andy Dalton gets me excited for Bears football. I also don't think it's a name that is going to happen. Obviously, we're talking about this for a reason. Rumors are saying that at the Combine, they've been talking to Andy Dalton and possibly trying to work out a trade. I'd be worried about what they would give up for Andy Dalton, though. Like, are we giving up Leonard Floyd to then, move away from his $13 million salary cap hit and getting in Andy Dalton? They have $27 million free right now after the cuts to Prince Amukamara and Taylor Gabriel.
Which you called. So good call on that one.
Yeah, so I'm not worried because I don't think a deal is going to end up getting done. I don't think that's the route they want to go. I think they're going to go a cheaper route. Again, I've been saying Case Keenum for a very long time on this podcast. I'm still not going away from that. I think they wouldn't be doing due diligence, though, if they were poking around for every single spot. If they were poking at Brady, if they were poking at Derek Carr, if they were poking at Jameis Winston, if they were poking at Andy Dalton, if they were poking at Marcus Mariota. I don't think it's wrong to poke around in those places to see where the weak spots are, what your price is. I think it's very smart to do that, but what's up with the poke?
You just keep saying the word poke.
Around. Hey, how's it going? Hey, what's the price for Andy Dalton? See? That's all they're doing.
I'm super ticklish.
Little knock, how's it going? Hey, what's the price for Andy Dalton?
Yeah. I understand what you're saying. You said the word poke 18 times in 12 seconds.
Poking and prodding. That's all they're doing, and I think it's due diligence. I don't...
Well, it's funny because that's the one thing that we didn't do, when we were drafting a quarterback.
True. And I think they learned their lesson, hopefully.
Yeah, we can hope so.
You fucking picked wrong.
Yeah, we did.
One won a Super Bowl, and the other's Deshaun Watson.
Yep.
And then Mitch Trubisky.
Yep.
So go Bears.
So yeah, the situation is Dalton is the name that, seems the most reasonable, I think. Sean, quit staring at your bald spot.
No.
Dalton's the one that seems the most reasonable out of the names that you dropped out loud, and I think that's what scares me. I know Tom Brady's not going to be a Chicago Bear. I've already it's not happening.
I'm giving it.
He's going to be a Titan.
I know. There's a chance he'll be a Titan. There's a chance he'll be a Raider.
Baby?
You think he's going to be a Titan?
Yeah, I think
What do you think he's going to be?
I think there's a good chance he could be a Titan.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys want to bet on this?
He's got a great relationship. Where do you think he's going, Sean?
Patriots.
You think he's going to be back on the Patriots?
I think he'll go to the Raiders before the Patriots. I think he's going.
You want to bet?
How much?
I'll take the Patriots. I'll take the Patriots for $20. If he goes anywhere else, you get $20.
Okay.
Deal?
Yeah. I think he's out of New England.
Okay. Day signs with New England. You're giving me $20.
Sounds good.
There's no way. I do not think he's going anywhere besides New England.
Wow. Well, that's fantastic, Sean, but that means that he's not going to be a Chicago Bear.
That's fine.
So what's the point in poking him?
Means I don't have to poke him. That means I don't have to spend $120 on a new Tom Brady jersey.
Sean, you don't got to poke him.
But if he goes to the Titans, you do.
If he goes to the Titans, I do. If he goes to the Raiders, I do. If he goes to the Bears, I do.
Got to pay Ricky $20 and buy a jersey.
Yeah.
What's that?
It won't just be $140 for a jersey. It'll be $160 because you got to pay Ricky $20.
Well, it's $120, so it'll be $140.
Okay. Point being, I don't think that's realistic to say Tom Brady. I do think Dalton is scary realistic. That's my problem. It feels like the move that Ryan Pace could lean into. It feels like the move that the Bears as a team are like, you know what? Our window's now, and we need to bring in a quarterback who can not only compete with Mitch, but has made it to the playoffs before on a team with a good defense. He can move the ball downfield. He can throw. He can make all the throws, and I understand that. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, but once we do that, what's the plan?
Well, it comes to me where if you make the trade for Andy Dalton, you are telling Mitch I have no confidence in you to last the entire year.
Yeah, no,
that's what you're telling me, because I was watching, I think it was on Get Up. They were talking about the Bears coming out and saying they are going to add a veteran.
Yep.
And at that point, everyone was talking about what free agent they could get. And the big point, I think, although I don't agree with him a lot, Dan Orlowski, he did make a point that I'm like, okay, kind of makes sense, of add a guy, he said like a Marcus Mariota, where, and before you shake your head, the point that he made that I can understand, take the name aside, he said, you want to add a guy that if you have to take Mitch out, you don't have to change the entire playbook. You have to change the playbook. You don't have to change your play style. Get somebody. Mariota, he said, would work with this. Even a Jameis Winston could fit in and work in the Bears system as is. They wouldn't have to change a lot for them. I'm not saying they should go and get them.
The Bears system has been simplified down for Mitch Trubisky. So you literally could open up the system with any of these other guys.
It's been simplified down for Mitch Trubisky. And also, you don't need a running quarterback. Like, get that fucking out of here. They wanted him to be a pocket passer. And did the playbook change when Chase Daniel was quarterback? No. So you just need a serviceable backup quarterback that has actually played games. It doesn't need to be Marcus Mariota because he could run. It doesn't need to be James
they don't
Winston
let
because he could run.
Because they don't let Mitch run.
That's what Dan Orlowski's saying. They want to get the RPO quarterback. It could be Case Keenum. Case Keenum can run this offense, okay? It could be Andy Dalton. He can run this offense. They want more of a prototypical pocket passer in this offense. They don't want a Marcus Mariota running around the place. They don't want that.
Clearly, if they wanted that, they would let Mitch run with the ball more because guess what? When he rolls out from the pocket, he's a better player because it cuts down his options in the field. He doesn't have to look across the entire field and make decisions about the defense. He's just limited to whatever side he rolls out to. Guess what?
What's in front of me?
What's in front of me? I can make that decision at that point, and you let him be the athlete that he is and make plays. But they didn't do that. So that's why I agree with Sean. I don't know why they're going for, if they would go for another athletic, mobile quarterback.
Yeah. And for me, the big thing is whatever veteran you bring in is going to tell the fans and it's going to tell Mitch what you think of him. Because I think if you trade for an Andy Dalton, you're telling everyone we don't believe in Mitch. He's not going to make it the full year. Or we're skeptic that Mitch will last the full year.
Is that an issue, though?
Confidence-wise. I don't think it's an issue because Andy Dalton, I think, is better than Mitch Trubisky. And if you're a Bears fan, you should just want to win games no matter who's out there playing quarterback. But if your goal coming into this season is to Mitch is our guy, we got to build him up, why would you then go to hurt his confidence? That's the thing. And that leads into a debate that we've all had of, do you want the quarterback who's going to get his confidence hurt because a veteran came in?
That's the thing that I don't think they've ever done is pushed him and made him compete. And along with that as well, I don't think they've ever said that he is going to be the guy this year. All they're saying is they want competition at every single part of position. So I don't think they're going to hurt his conversation or confidence because this is what he's expecting. He's expecting competition. So Andy Dalton is the guy that proposes a legitimate threat because he's been a starter for years now.
Yeah.
Like if you bring in a guy like fucking Case Keenum. Like, I wonder how much he would see that as competition because Case Keenum, I think, has started like 67 games throughout his career, similar to Mariota. The Mariota thing, I don't think is happening because they have the same agent, Trubisky and Mariota. I don't think that's going to happen. But Dalton poses more of a threat, and definitely Derek Carr does, because those guys have had more skins on the wall than a guy like Case Keenum who's bounced around team to team to team.
What if it is Jameis Winston? Would he pose a threat?
I don't think Winston's going to cost too much money.
No. I'm saying that if he did get signed by the Bears.
But I want to keep it into legitimate threats, guys that they will actually bring in. I don't think Mariota's going to be it because of the agent. I don't think Winston is because I think he's either going to be too expensive or the Buccaneers will sign him for the same price, and I don't think he'll leave. The talk is that they want him back. The owner really loves Jameis Winston, so I don't think that they're going to go away from him.
But does Bruce Arians want him back? That's the big thing.
It doesn't matter. Owners override coaches.
Winning games, I think, overrides everything.
Owners do not care. Owners want what they want. They sign every check. So if they want Jameis Winston back, they will sign him to $30 million if that's what Jameis Winston wants, if they love him enough. It doesn't matter what Bruce Arians wants. Sorry, Bruce. It's what the owner wants. If the owner wants Bruce Arians, then they'll go out and go get a guy like Phillip Rivers. Then I know
this is off of the
Jameis
Bears.
Winston is a guy that
I just see that of why they have a GM. Then if the owner's going to be like, I want that guy, Let the GM do
look at the
his
Buccaneers.
job.
Are the Buccaneers a well-run
No,
franchise?
they're
No.
good. They're not a good team right now.
So that's the thing. They're not a well-run franchise if your owner's stepping over their bounds.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's just obvious sense. It makes sense. Or owners that aren't involved enough. That's another poorly run franchise.
Yeah.
So
there's a right level.
I think that Winston is iffy. I think that Mariota's iffy for coming here. So I would write them off. Bridgewater's too expensive. Brady's also too expensive. And Rivers doesn't fit. So we can talk about Carr. We could talk about Dalton.
We did talk about Carr last week.
Yeah, we could talk about Carr. We could talk about Dalton, and we could talk about Case Keenum.
Yep.
Like those are the three guys that I think are that are actually obtainable for the Bears this year and actually signable. And I don't think it matters. Again, to Mitch Trubisky's confidence, because right now they're saying that he is the quarterback, but also they have no other quarterback. So it's not really a vote of confidence. It's just more, we like things that Mitch are doing, and we're going to keep him on the roster because he's our only quarterback, and we still think that he's something in this league. But if they go out and get a Derek Carr, that's a sign that, all right, you're likely not going to have a job unless you really wow us. Dalton is, all right, you're going to compete, in Case Keenum is, all right, if you don't do well over 5 games, you might get benched.
Yeah, I
like
think
those
that
are the
window
level of
changes.
competitions.
Yeah.
And I think they're kicking the tires on all of those options. It's just going to be the price that you have to pay in the long run because this team still has needs outside of the quarterback.
Yeah, it puts them in a rough position because I think ideally they're going to land one of those veterans and they still have to take a later round project quarterback in this draft in order to secure themselves a future plan, because like you can't just...
Well, I think the one thing that at least helps them is, free agency happens before the draft.
Yeah.
So I think it also depends on the price. So if they aren't able to meet the price of a Derek Carr or the price of an Andy Dalton, I think then if you bring in Keenum, I think they use one of those seconds on a quarterback.
Oh, so Keenum equals we're spending higher capital on QB, but the other two you think they'll roll with?
Well, if they get a Carr, there's no need to go spend out, and because then you're pretty much you have a capable backup quarterback in Mitch Trubisky. He's a fine backup. If I mean he's got enough talent that it's like, all right, it makes sense that he's a backup in this league. I can't look at my bald spot anymore. But yeah, I would say that if you go to Dalton, then maybe you spend a fifth.
Yeah,
Maybe
I mean he is going to be
6th.
33 this year, so it's it's not like he's at the end of his career, but I think realistically, he struggled for the last 2 years, and there's a good chance. Actually, 2 years ago he wasn't a bad quarterback. That team was just bad.
Last year, I also wouldn't say he was a bad quarterback. He had zero help.
Yeah,
he didn't have the only player that was decent was Joe Mixon. And look how much Mixon struggled. They didn't have an offensive line. So I think Dalton, you can't truly base him off of what he did last year. Yep. I think you'd have a huge bounce back year just being not on a team that's one of the worst in the league.
So that's the question. Let's just go into let's run down the scenario that the Bears do get Andy Dalton in some sort of deal. Mitch Trubisky's still on the team, and we're going into training camp and saying, if they're dead even, are you going to let Mitch get how many games in before you yank that cord, or do you think that right at the start?
I'm glad that you said how many. No, because you had it right. How many games does Mitch get? Because if they're dead even, they're rolling with Mitch. So it's not if they're dead even, we're giving it to the veteran.
Yeah,
they're giving it to Mitch because they want to see if he can prove himself.
Yeah,
Dalton's then a backup plan, but I think that Dalton would, if Dalton learns the offense, he is going to win out in camp.
Yeah.
So that's where it comes to, because I mean. Clearly, Trubisky's more athletic. He can make more things happen. He can make those wow play happens more, but he could also have those head in your hand. 75% of the time,
can't read
he's
defense.
like, Jesus Christ, Mitch.
Yeah.
Where Dalton, I don't think Dalton's ever going to make you say Jesus Christ, but it's just like,
he's got the arm talent to make all the throws. He's been a veteran in the league now, for almost 10 years in the league, and I look at his ability to find big plays. And Allen Robinson seems like it would be a good pairing with him. It's just this offense, how quickly could he pick it up? And do you think that him being here means that we might see more of the offense that we expected versus the more basic version that we ended up with Mitch this past year? Like, do you think that that's going to change as well? Because as a head coach, you have to be able to adapt to your quarterback. And obviously last year we saw things slim down. Yeah. Do you think coming into this season we should expect the fun gadget play, Kansas City style that he was hired in as, or do you think that we're going to see more of the basic, bland.
I don't know if we'll see basic and bland. I think we'll see more of Matt Nagy come out.
Okay.
Because he was calling to the personnel.
Yeah.
So hopefully, if he is a smart coach, which is still yet to be seen.
TBD.
I do think that the offense, if he does have Dalton, he will be able to roll out more of his style of game plan. I think he wants to run an offense that he would like to run, and Matt Nagy wasn't that athletic of a quarterback. He couldn't do the shit that Pat Mahomes could or anything that's always playing the AFL. But I think that Andy Dalton would fit that prototypical, similar to what Matt Nagy was, and I think that you'd see a balanced offense and less of an issue to.
You say balanced offense and Matt Nagy out loud. I'm just going to remind you of the run game that didn't exist.
I know, but he taught. The thing that I hate the most about Matt Nagy is I believe him.
Yeah.
And I really like him as a person. He seems like a good guy.
He's a
very good talker.
Yeah.
It's like how I felt as an Illinois fan. I love John Gross, great guy, but we weren't winning games.
Yeah, and it's just the thing too. You could talk, and you also never back up anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Hey,
We were joking around before. I was telling you, Sean, I was listening to the score, and they were kind of going on about how Ryan Pace is just either a pathological liar or
he's
blind.
Different. He's different. So,
you think a GM can be less truthful to the public than a head coach?
Yeah, you see it right now. I mean, the thing is, the head coach is always supposed to be optimistic, right? The head coach is always supposed to come out and be like, we love the guys working.
Nagy literally last offseason talked about how he didn't like Mitch's development.
Yeah. And that's the thing is he's been truthful.
Yeah.
He's been more truthful than Ryan Pace. Ryan Pace lies through his teeth each and every time he talks, twice a year. It's
fair.
3 times, once on this show.
Oh, yeah, we did have Ryan Pace for live interview. Check that out, Pat.
Shout out Pat, who also thinks the doors are good. But
taking
what I was trying to say is if we look at your team, the Cubs, every time Theo Epstein talks, Cubs fans feel better because he is such a well-spoken, smart person. He's not going to bullshit around. He may have higher thoughts and be less harsh than other fans will be, but he understands fans' struggles. Ryan Pace does not have that connection.
Whereas you look at the Bulls, it's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Where they speak and we just hate everything.
Well, I think Paxson, when he did speak more, he's better than Pace.
Yeah.
That's why he's had a job for 14 years. So there's also a reason why Gar Forman doesn't speak at all, because he sucks at it. But Paxson typically has, before, when he's not been, pre-Jim Boylan era, Paxson was a very good speaker. He would typically blame shit on the Derrick Rose injury, but whatever. But I think Bulls fans felt better after John Paxson spoke. Cubs fans felt better after Theo Epstein spoke.
Bears don't feel better after Ryan Pace speaks.
No, because he lies.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest issue is I do not trust Ryan Pace, and fans shouldn't trust Ryan Pace.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what the fuck he does, and I don't know if he does his job well enough, and I don't know if he understands the mistakes that he's made. There's no idea of if Ryan Pace is truly going to try to push or compete with Mitch. And these rumors at least help me understand, all right, the whole talk is, all right, let's see what Ryan Pace does, because you can't trust what he says.
Yeah, actions. You got to
so
go for
if
actions.
he does actually go out and get Andy Dalton, that's a strong move, at least to show, all right, Mitch, your job isn't safe. And I understand what I've gone through. But that's why I also keep saying they're going to go sign Case Keenum, because they're not actually going to push Mitch. They're going to put a place where he's not even going to be competition, because you could say, oh, well, Mitch, we love his accuracy, we love his athleticism, and Case Keenum isn't that crazy accurate unless he's, in 2017 Vikings, right?
Yeah.
He's not that athletic. He's fine, but Mitch is clearly more athletic.
Yeah.
And there's more potential with Mitch. Case Keenum's going to be 33 years old. But Case Keenum's also a smarter quarterback. And that's why 7 games in, you'll likely run with it, because he gives you a better chance to win.
Well,
so I just don't think Bears fans right now should feel good. And at least the biggest thing for them is that the free agency comes before the draft. So then at least
we should
you
know
can
our
put
situation
pressure on Ryan Pace, and the media should put as much pressure on Ryan Pace to try to get backlash and show him that, hey, you need to go out, and if you do sign Case Keenum to challenge Mitch Trubisky, you need to use one of those second-round picks on a quarterback.
I think the thing that we talked about last week, Dave and I, and this is, again, free agency coming before the draft, of Brady is going to be the first domino that affects what the Bears do. Because if Brady goes to anywhere but Las Vegas, then the Bears are going to be like, okay, we're not trading for Carr. But if he decides to go to Las Vegas, then Derek Carr's on the table, realistically, for the Bears. And I think the Bears, if they have a checklist, Derek Carr would be the top. Like, he is the one where it's like, if I get him, I can be successful.
Well, I think for Bears fans, do you think Ryan Pace truly wants to get Derek Carr here? I don't think he does.
You don't think so?
No, I think he wants Mitch Trubisky.
I would think.
Oh, that's
he wants to be right.
He wants to be right.
Yeah, and that's the thing I want to hit on, because
he can't put his ego aside.
I feel
he
like
always says
GMs are
no ego. That's bullshit.
Yeah, GMs are tied to their quarterback, and
it's
the biggest thing that Ryan Pace has done is to stick with Mitch Trubisky. He picked him out of the draft. He was like, "That's my kid." You know, when he was in New Orleans, like, he got gifted Drew Brees, basically. You know, and that's one of the things is the people he put around Drew Brees, credit. Absolutely going to give him credit for the moves he made there.
Well, hold on. He wasn't
the
wasn't
guy.
GM
I
when
know.
he started.
He was a front office guy.
Yeah.
But point being, it was like the people who were able to be brought in around Drew Brees, credit to him for that. But in Chicago,
I also do want to say, the Saints got better when Ryan Pace left their front office.
Ooh.
They weren't this competitive when he was in the front office.
You're not all the way wrong. I don't know.
Maybe that had to be affected by Breeze's age.
Yeah,
but they're better.
And
team
the contract,
Pace.
they moved around some contracts. It's been interesting. The point I was trying to make was like,
go ahead.
GMs are so tied to that one position of quarterback that I don't think he can afford to be wrong about Mitch, because I think that means the end of his tenure with the Bears.
Which I think is stupid, because if he goes out and gets Derek Carr, that means this team's going to win games. And if they're winning games, that's all the McCaskies care
but
about.
You're saying he's not going to do that because he wants to be right about Mitch Trubisky.
I don't think he's going to do that, because
which will lead to his downfall.
I think he's trying to overthink it. I think he's trying to overthink it, that if Mitch Trubisky hits his potential, and Ricky, I'll let you jump in here. If Mitch Trubisky hits his potential, then I could spend more money on this defense and other places, and then we'll be a more well-rounded team. I think he's too blinded on what Mitch Trubisky's potential is in his mind, that he's not going to go out and make the biggest, most necessary move in getting Derek Carr, or getting a better quarterback than what they currently have on roster.
I feel where, and this is where the coming back to the trade part becomes tricky. I think out of Dalton and Derek Carr, the one that is more realistic is Derek Carr. Really? And the reason why, like, if Brady goes to Las Vegas, I think Ryan Pace would trade for Derek Carr before he would trade for Andy Dalton if Brady doesn't go to Las Vegas. And the reason being is, with me, I'm thinking about the draft. And if I trade for Andy Dalton, I'm still going to have to take a quarterback with one of my second-round picks, because Dalton's done at the end of the year, and I don't know if I'm going to bring him back. Whereas Derek Carr, I don't need to take one in the second round because Derek Carr's locked up.
It depends on the price. If you also might be giving up one of your seconds to get Derek Carr.
Well, I would be okay with that compared to giving up one of my seconds to get Dalton, because I would feel like I'd need to use one of those on a quarterback if I got Dalton.
Here's the scenarios that I see happening. You get Derek Carr, you don't draft a quarterback.
Bingo.
You get Andy Dalton, you use a fifth. If you get Case Keenum, you use a second.
See,
that's the escalation.
See, I think with Andy Dalton, I would still want, because the thing with quarterbacks in this draft class is it's not, in my mind, it's not like it's super deep of a class to where the ones that they have listed, I know everyone wants to bring up Gordon from Washington State as like a dark horse, but like
I like him.
People do like him.
I after watching the combine, I kind of hate Jake Fromm. I kind of hate Jacob Eason. And Jalen Hurts should be a first rounder, and Anthony Gordon should probably be a second rounder, higher than Fromm and Eason.
Yeah. Whereas we know Burrow and Tua are locked. Herbert's locked.
Utah State too.
Jordan Love. He's probably going to be a Colt.
I like Love.
The Colts love him.
I like Love.
The Colts love Love.
Yeah.
I
no
love
pun
Love.
intended.
I love Gordon, and I love Hurts.
Yeah.
And if either of those guys are Bear, I'd be happy.
Whereas, I mean, with the
I'd
Bears,
also be more happy if Derek Carr was our quarterback.
who's going to be there then when you get to that 5th round? That could be the thing, because this isn't the most deep quarterback class that we have. The thing that I am looking at is, and this is why if I'm the Bears, maybe look to trade for a Dalton or a Derek Carr, is the wide receiver position is deep this year. Like, there's a chance you could get a Colin Johnson later on, who right now is 88th on Tankathon's big board. There's another one who he's even fallen past the top 100, but I still like him, is Donathan Peoples something. I'll have to look up the hyphen on his last name. Jones, maybe? Johnson?
Yeah, the kid from Michigan?
From Michigan.
Yeah,
I love
Donathan
him.
I
absolutely love him. Where if you could get him later on, like, you could then use that pick on a wide receiver rather than have to use it on a quarterback because you traded for Andy Dalton. You traded
Where's he supposed to go?
A Derek Carr. Right now,
Peoples-Jones?
He was on the top 100 for Tankathon.
Okay.
He's off it now.
Really?
Yeah, he's off their top 100.
I mean, he just had a great combine.
Yes, exactly.
So,
like, I love the kid.
I expect him to get back on.
I like him.
Maybe.
Shocker. I like Notre Dame's Chase Claypool. I like Komet from Notre Dame as well. Also, I was thinking about this too with the Bengals. I don't know what their price is because they hate John Ross, right?
Yeah.
It seems like their front office and their coaching staff hates John Ross.
Yeah.
I like
try to get John Ross.
I like John Ross.
Could you get Andy Dalton and John Ross together?
That's what I'm
in
thinking.
A trade?
Like,
Yeah.
if you hate him, I'll take him. Like, he was injured last year, but like, we lost Taylor Gabriel. All right, well, let's go get the guy who ran the fastest combine ever. And he had like 18.6 yards per reception. He has 10 touchdowns in 19 games. Like, he seems like a
just needs to stay
playmaker.
healthy. I mean, that's always been John Ross' problem.
Yeah, but I mean, now he's not. I don't think you're going to be targeted 58, 56 times.
Yeah.
He's targeted 58 times in 13 games in 2018 and then 56 times in 2019. I don't think you're going to be targeted that many times. In this team, you have Anthony Miller and Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson's going to get at least 110 targets.
Yeah.
So
I absolutely agree.
I don't know what the price would be on John Ross. I'm just throwing it out and just trying to think because I know they don't like him. And like maybe that also solves a wide receiver issue because I don't know if the wide receiver class is deep. I'm not. You're absolutely 100% right about that. Peoples-Jones.
You mentioned you lose Taylor Gabriel. Are you going to add to that? Are you going to replace that?
They
God forbid, are they just going to put Cordero in that situation and have it be Allen, Cordero, and Miller?
No,
I don't think so.
Ridley plays his way up. Wims plays his way up.
Yeah,
Those
Ridley
four guys seem like they like those four. I just think that they don't have, looking at Miller, looking at Robinson, looking at Wims and Ridley, they don't have a burner. So that's why I thought Ross.
Yeah.
And that guy is
because Gabriel was that burner. Like, he was supposed to be that burner for you.
I like the Bears quarterback issues. Always just comes down to what does Ryan Pace truly want, and I don't think any of us knows.
Yeah.
And we won't know until free agency, and even after that, we don't know what they'll do in the draft because he keeps saying he wants to take a quarterback, and I don't think he will. I think that overall Dalton is out there. I just wonder what the price is, and that's the thing that I think Bears fans will be upset at because if they give up a second, I think they'll be upset. If they give up the fifth, I think they'll be upset. If they give up a sixth, they'll be upset. I think any way the Bears get Andy Dalton, Bears fans will be upset. Which I don't know if is truly fair to Ryan Pace outside of the second. If they give up a second for Andy Dalton, you should be fair to be pissed.
Question.
Yep.
Do you think that there's a thought in Ryan Pace's head of like, I'm not going to trade for Dalton. I'm not going to trade for Derek Carr. I'm going to get a guy like Case Keenum because you know what? If we're bad, we can say bye to Mitch. And if we're that bad, like really bad, like Bengals bad,
right?
To where like Trevor Lawrence is here next year, we can just do that. Like, do you think there's an option for that?
Well, here's the thing though: is if they're in Trevor Lawrence territory, Ryan Pace is fired.
Okay.
So I don't think he's looking forward to Trevor Lawrence. My best case scenario is get Ryan Pace fired and get Trevor Lawrence. I'm fine. If the Bears suck this year and we get Trevor Lawrence, I will hang up a Ryan Pace "I'm all in" banner in my house. I'll get an all-in tattoo because that means we got Trevor Lawrence. It's a long road, but I'll take a franchise quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. So
fair enough.
I don't want to be here.
Yep.
I don't want to be in this situation where, like...
But we are stuck here.
Yeah, we are, and it fucking sucks.
So best case scenario for you is actually if we get a terrible quarterback and
best
we
case
suck
scenario
this
is
year.
Case Keenum. Because I want to see Mitch Trubisky get beaten out by Case Keenum. That's ultimate Bears fan.
Gotcha.
That Mitch Trubisky loses his job week 7 for being that bad to Case Keenum.
I got one for you, Ricky, because you know the draft so much better than me. The only guy who I have actually like name-wise quarterback who's come across like later round pick, James Morgan out of Florida International.
Yes.
Kid's got a cannon for an arm.
He does.
You know who he was? Lane Kiffin's quarterback.
No, that was FAU.
Oh,
yeah,
He was
right.
Atlantic, not
Right.
International.
Who is the old Virginia coach is the FIU guy, right?
I think so. I'll have to look it up.
I'll look it up.
He was a
You talk
transfer.
about Morgan.
He's just got a cannon of an arm.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
I
and
get
I mean,
he's got to
hey-
learn to play quarterback, but like basically he's like 6'4", so he's built, he's tall, he's got a cannon for an arm, and I want to say like there was some article on him being like growing
Butch
up
Davis.
and loving Brett Favre,
Tennessee guy.
which like I kind of love that. So
Butch Davis also.
if he learns to read defenses, we got the same problem as Mitch Trubisky. I mean, whatever.
North Carolina.
Miami too.
Ah.
Yep. All right.
But yeah, no, basically big kid, cannon arm. Like how late is he gonna go in this draft?
Probably like highest third, probably a fourth.
Could we see him in the 5th?
Maybe.
Should I hold out hope for him in the 5th for the Bears?
Maybe. Like,
If we go with our mid-round, choice of Andy Dalton and
watch.
and Sean's logic
knowing
of we
New
go 5th
England,
round.
like New England will take a quarterback later on in this draft, and he'll end up being the next best thing.
Stop with that.
They love drafting
once.
quarterbacks.
It happened once.
I don't know. Jared Stidham's not bad.
Stop it.
we gotta wait
He's
and
no
see.
Jimmy
Stop
Garoppolo,
it.
but he's not. I liked Jared Stidham when he was with Auburn.
They have taken 2 good quarterbacks in the past 21 years.
Matt Castle?
One of them's the great. He was undrafted. One of the greatest quarterbacks of all time,
And Tom
Jimmy
Brady.
Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo was a 2nd-round pick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who would you say? I said the greatest quarterback of all time. And then
I
you
said Tom Brady.
I thought you said and Tom Brady.
No, I said Tom Brady. You
Brady
said
is
greatest
the
quarterback of all time.
I heard.
And I was like, oh, he's going to say Tom Brady.
I thought you were making a joke. I thought you were saying the greatest quarterback of all time and Tom Brady. And then I was wondering, all right, who are you saying the greatest quarterback of all time is? But yeah, over the past 21 years, they've drafted 2 good quarterbacks.
Yeah.
It's Tom Brady and Garoppolo. And is Garoppolo even good?
Jacoby Brissett's passable.
I think he's good.
He's fine. Castle was fine.
Yeah.
Ryan Mallett sucked.
Maybe Kyle Shanahan's
Hoyer
the
was fine.
problem.
Hoyer was undrafted too.
Yeah.
But yeah, like with the Bears, I honestly, this is my dream scenario with the Bears, and I'm not even a Bears fan. Dream scenario is that you guys sign Marcus Mariota,
Castle was 7th.
and then you get
His 7th
Jalen,
rounder?
Yeah, 230.
and then you somehow
Hoyer wasn't.
get Jalen Hurts in the draft.
Yeah, I mean, Hurts is
And Jalen Hurts beats out Trubisky.
So here's the ridiculous
That would
thing.
get my Jimmies going.
People are saying Jalen Hurts is basically Mitch Trubisky all over again, except with more reps.
No,
Fuck.
And I'm like,
I don't
Fuck.
understand that at all.
no, I get that. And the
He's
whole
got
thing
it.
is, he's got that X factor to his game, but did he hit his cap in college as a quarterback? Like, do you see him continue to grow? Because I was surprised
So
the step
he
he
got
took
bet
when he
Did you-
left Alabama.
Yeah, did you watch him in the combine?
I have not seen his clips
Okay,
of combine.
go watch his combine.
I heard it was good.
He was one of the best throwers. I mean, him and Herbert were the
Yeah.
best throwers. And we're talking
So
about
we're talking
Hurts
end of
as
the
an
first
athlete.
round now?
Maybe
I-
I
Is he
always
sneaking
thought,
in?
I don't
I
think
always
so. I
thought
haven't
he
seen
was a
him
guy
move
that
up.
people trade up for and to get that 5th-year option on.
They have him listed. If Tankathon currently has him listed at 83.
Yeah, I think that's bullshit.
way too low.
Yeah, I get that.
I think it's
He's
BS.
a 2nd rounder. His combine was fantastic. I was he I think he had one bad throw. And he
That
was
is-
throwing bombs, 50
This
yarders
was-
on the money.
This was updated though before the combine. Just want to throw that.
Yeah,
I want to
but
give
like-
them a little bit of credit,
But like
it's still.
I don't think there was a single ball that was. I don't think any incompletions happened, and I don't think there was. I think there was one ball that didn't let the guy fully continue his run. He hit every guy in stride. I think this guy is a leader. I think he is determined, and I think he wants to prove everybody wrong. Sign me the fuck up for that. Like maybe he doesn't have a great career, but he's gonna be in the league. And he's going to be at least a starter his first 3 years. I think that's where you capitalize. That's what the Bears need.
Yep.
He might not be good long term, but I think he could ball out. I think he could. I hate to throw this name out because I know some people don't like him.
Do it.
If you don't like him, you're probably racist. Colin Kaepernick. Like Colin Kaepernick came into the league and wanted to prove people wrong. Did he not? And he had a great first 3 years. And then he started to struggle a little bit because people started getting his gimmick down. But Colin Kaepernick could throw the ball. He was super athletic, and people couldn't stop it.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts wants to prove
And
people
also,
wrong.
didn't Jim
Plus, super
didn't
athletic.
Jim Harbaugh leave and he had a year or two without Jim Harbaugh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
That
had
happened
2 years,
also.
and they competed
The
with
Niners
Blaine Gabbert.
kind of imploded.
That was a rough one, yeah.
Yeah,
That was the
Niners
Niners
kind
as a
of
whole,
imploded.
and we witnessed one of the worst quarterback games of all time in that Bears 49ers game.
Here's
Yeah.
an interesting question. What do you think the price would be, if even possible,
Yep.
for the Bears to move up to 32? What would the Chiefs
So,
want from the
A two
Bears?
from obviously one of our twos.
Okay.
And then it's the question of how much more do we have to give? Do we have to give a pick this year? Can we give up future capital? And if we're moving up to 32, our pick is what number in the second
I
round?
would Chunk. You look that up.
What's that?
The Bears pick?
What
the
number? Do you
second
know?
round.
Is it like
One of them 60 something, but that's not the first
Yeah,
one.
I think they're 52.
That's the second one. Because
so?
I was gonna look up the last time the pick was traded at 32.
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar.
Yeah. And the price for that was, so Philly traded.
Bears pick at 43.
Okay. So 43 is your highest pick.
43 and 50.
Philly gave up the 32nd and the 132nd to
So-
Baltimore. So 1 and a 4. And Baltimore gave them back a 2nd and a 4th for the current year
In a second.
and a 2nd the next year.
I don't want, and as a Bears,
And the second was
as-
52.
As a Bears fan, I do not want Ryan Pace giving up more picks. So I would, I would absolutely rule that out.
Because like
As much as I love Hurts, rule it out.
and the thing that's going to come down to Hurts is
Yeah, we're already
that
short this
50-year
year.
option. Like if you're going to draft a guy like him,
Yep.
you're going to want to get that 50-year option on him so that you have more control over him than not. Kind of exactly what the Ravens wanted with Lamar Jackson.
Right.
And the thing, this is from SI, just to give people outside of my eye what people thought of Hurts. Hurts has helped himself pretty consistently through the first 6 or so weeks of the draft process, and Thursday night gave him another check box. I don't know how high the Oklahoma star will go day 2, but I do know that he's done plenty to dispel the idea that he isn't an NFL quarterback since leaving Alabama after being out, being beat out by Tagovailoa. So he was fantastic.
Yeah.
I love
I'll go
this
check it out.
attitude. So I would say that best case scenario is you get Case Keenum because I want to see Mitch Trubisky get beat out by Case Keenum, but that also makes you forced to take a quarterback second round, and I would hope that would be Jalen Hurts.
All right. I think that's a perfect note to end this one on.
I would like 43, take Big O, tight end out of Missouri, and 50, take Jalen Hurts. Thank you very much. See you later.
Are you sure on that order? Do you think that we might have to?
I wouldn't care.
Okay, I was just saying, like, do
Those
you
are the
think
guys
Big
I
O's
want.
Okay,
I think Big O. I mean, he's a 6'5"
I get
tight end
it.
running a 4.49.
He's a monster. Yes,
What number did you say
You're like, yeah,
the Bears' first pick was?
43.
43. So the Ravens one was 52.
Is that Bridgewater?
When the Vikings moved up for Bridgewater, they gave up the 40th and the 108th
We don't
for
have
32.
a fourth though.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, that was a second and a fourth. there was a higher
don't
pick
move
than
up.
52.
Don't move up.
Maybe 43
Please don't move
and
up.
next year's 4th.
Please don't move up.
And next year's
Please don't
7th.
trade any picks. Ryan Pace needs to.
He needs late rounders. That's what he does. But and on draft sits. Anyway.
Okay, but also Eddie Jackson was a first rounder that fell to the fourth. Like he doesn't even count.
Oh my god. I'm not starting this now. All right.
No, but like I don't want to give Ryan Pace any credit.
Okay.
So fuck him.
He's a
Pace.
liar.
Ryan Pace, bad man, good hair.
He's great hair.
Bad man,
I'm
great.
jealous of the hair.
Yep.
He's been here for 5 years. How many playoffs wins he got?
Yeah.
0.
Yep. Ricky.
Double doink.